trying to pay for, trying to maneuver. God, listen, God told me that you can't maneuver for the anointing. No, you can't pay for the anointing. You can't lie and scheme for the anointing. The anointing comes from the shaking and the pressing and the beating and the stuffing. The anointing comes from the struggle that you have to go through while God is preparing you for the destiny that He has on your life. If I have anybody in the building who know you've been through the shaking, you've been through the pressing, you've been through the beating, all God knows you've been stuffed up. That's why you have the oil over your mouth and say thank you, Jesus. Hey, I'm a little praise right there. Come on, help me. Let's go. Right now, the whole. Hey, God, help me. Come on, praise Him. Hey, God, the whole shot. Yes, I'm so ready. I'm the Lord. So Saul says, I don't like this little cliche right here because he got the oil and he got the praises of the people. Some of y'all got haters not because of you, but because of what's on you. All right, come on. And what other people see in you. Y'all got haters. I know you're wonderful in your families. Yes, Lord. But it's not about you. It's not about your bundles. It's not about your beat. It's not about your outfit. It's not about your shoes. It's not about your hats. None of that. It's about the fact that the oil of God is on your life. And it's so visible and it's so evident that when people see you, they can't stand you. And they've done everything they can do to get what you got and still can't get it. Can't get it, never gonna get it, no, never gonna get it. You can't get it to the flesh, you can only get it by way of the Holy Ghost. Now, you can't get this, what I got, baby. You ain't went through what I went through. You ain't gone through what I've gone through to get what I got. Hey, now know about y'all. So, you know, Saul lost his mind up in here. And he actually thinks you can kill the anointing. Some of you all are alive right now because of the anointing. See, y'all listen, y'all should have went crazy. You should have went crazy. I will try it again. The only reason why some of us are alive right now is because the anointing is protecting you until you fulfill your assignment. It wasn't your block, it wasn't your slip, it wasn't your razor, it wasn't your knife, it wasn't your pepper spray, it wasn't you can catch these hands, it was strictly the anointing. Oh, I dare you to praise God for the anointing. But there are some Cushites who are crazy enough to believe that they can still stop you. That's why you don't get upset when people try to come up against you. But you got to know what you're working with. Tell somebody, do you know what you're working with? Show me what you're working with. I'm working with that anointing. You might try to block me, but you can't stop me. You might talk about me, but you can't hinder me. You might try to sabotage me, but ultimately, I'm going to get to what God says I'm supposed to be. But you should expect people to at least try. See, sometimes we get discouraged because we don't understand how my prayers, I'm praying, I'm doing what God told me to do, but I still got haters and enemies. I still got people trying to stop me, people trying to block me, and you think you're doing something wrong. And God says you're not doing anything wrong. It comes with the territory of being anointed. I really want to stop here for a second to say this. I don't think when we ask for the anointing, when we ask for favor, I don't think we fully understand what we're asking for. You're asking for God to give you this divine enablement that whatever you put your hands to do is going to always prosper. That whenever you open your mouth, God's always going to back it up. All right? See, that's what the anointing is. And when you ask God for favor, you're asking Him to break the rules for you. To open up doors you don't qualify for, to put you in places that beyond your expertise, but God will put you there because He's looking for people that He can trust to strategically place so that they can successfully advance God's agenda in every sector. So He puts you in places by His favor. But with that comes people who will hate you. Because I did all of this to get here and you're surpassing me. How did that happen? I've gone through all of this education and you don't even have a fourth of the education that I have. But yet you have favor with the boss. And God is, who am I talking to up in here? People don't like you. It comes with the territory. So God says in this season, you got to toughen up. Oh, tell your neighbor you got to toughen up. You got to get some thick skin. You can't have your cake and eat it too. If you want to be anointed and if you want favor, you have to also deal with the hatred. You have to deal with the lies. You have to deal with the slander. You have to deal with the betrayal. You have to deal with it all if you want to be anointed. Come on. You gotta deal with it. I ain't saying it don't hurt. I ain't saying you don't get mad. You want to go cut somebody. I know you do. Because I do too. But then I have to turn that thing around into a praise party. I take my anger and I make it a praise party. I take my rage and I make it a rejoicing. Because I know the devil ain't gonna fight nothing that ain't a threat to him. I come to prophesy in this place. There's a whole bunch of threats in here to the kingdom of the enemy. And that's why he's coming up against you. And I want to tell you that greater is he that's in you than he that's in the world. No weapon, no weapon, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. Come on, clap your hands up. Open your mouth and give a praise. Come on, open your mouth and give a praise. So Saul, have a seat. Saul is launching this whole campaign to destroy David, and David's running here and there. Got him looking like a fool. Have you ever looked like a fool that's on the run trying to keep your life alive? Trying to keep yourself alive. You run all those places like a fool. And so finally we get here to this particular text where Samuel has died. Now Samuel represented the prophetic voice. He was the judge, the prophet. He was the mouthpiece for God to the nation. But he was also very important to David because without Samuel, David would have never come into his purpose. He would have never come into his assignment. And so the Bible starts in the first chapter of 1 Samuel 25 saying that Samuel died. And after Samuel died, David left. I want to tell you something, that when major shifts happen in your life, you have to be really careful about your decisions. Yes. Because your next steps after a major transition can either propel you or hinder you. Because you're already in an interesting emotional space. In fact, they say that you shouldn't make any major life decisions within 60 to 90 days of any major shift unless you're forced to make a decision. All right. But how many of us can admit we have made some major decisions in the heat of the emotions of shifts? Can I have some people that admit? I know I've done it many times. And then you look back and like, I wish I had done that. Or I could have did that differently. Or I should have handled that differently. Listen, don't make any major decisions in a major shift. Losing Samuel was major to David. Without Samuel, David wouldn't even be where he was. But he made a decision to go to the wilderness. Of all places. Why would you go to the wilderness? I can infer from here that David is really in his feelings. So what God showed me in this text is there's two major examples of making decisions in the heat of the moment. One is led out of your emotions and your flesh and your reality. The other is made out of a prophetic understanding of your future. And what I want to tell you is that when you're in the midst of a major shift, you cannot make emotionally led decisions. You have to make decisions that have been built upon the prophetic vision of where God is taking you. You have to keep that in the forefront of your mind. What did God say he was doing? Where did God say he was taking you? What did God tell you that he was going to do? And that is the thing that you make decisions by. You don't make decisions because your boss quit and you love your boss. She's the one that hired you. You don't turn around quick to hire her because she quit. Unless God showed you that was what you're supposed to do. Just as an example. And so we see he goes into the wilderness. He finds out that there's a wealthy man by the name of Nabal. And so David's out here with his men. He said, okay, listen, we gotta hustle here. We need some money. We need some food. We gotta live out here. And so we're gonna protect his herdsmen while they out here in the field. We're gonna put a barrier around them, and we ain't gonna let nothing happen to them. So they did this, not necessarily asking the ball, not necessarily getting a contract agreement with him, but they're doing this. And so finally David said, hey, let me send some of my boys. Y'all go down there to Nabal and greet him and give him honor and respect and say, listen, we've been watching out for your boys out here in the field. You know, we're a little hungry, you know what I mean? So can you hook us up with a little something? So his guys came down. This right here, I know I'm paraphrasing. I'm putting in Jacksonology. So they go down and greet him and stuff. And the ball get real nasty because the word Nabal means fool.
That's right. Yes.
How many of y'all know that some of the most influential people in the world are also fools? Now, what makes them a fool is not that they lack knowledge. That's not what foolery is. It's not the lack of knowledge. A fool is a person who knows right but chooses to do wrong anyway. Come on. It's one thing not to know. That's stupid. Ignorance. But when you know and you make the decision not to do, that makes you foolish. And sometimes key people in life, some of the people that you have to deal with to get to the next level are foolish people. They purposely make your way hard. They purposely do things to try to hinder you or block you. And so when David sent these men to Nabal, he didn't know that they were fools. He didn't know Nabal was a fool, but he quickly found out that this man is a fool. Because when the men came down, he said, "Who is David?" Now hold on now. David wasn't trying to toot his own horn, but I think everybody in Israel knows who David is. The man who killed Goliath. You don't know who this brother is? The man who now got risen up over the armies. He was a nobody on the backside of the desert, tending to sheep. And now he's at the top of his game. He's married to the king's daughter. He's now the captain of, everybody knows who David is. So what Nabal was really doing, he was saying, I know who David is, but he don't mean nothing to me. You know why? Because my homie is Saul. The scholars say that Nabal was homeboys with Saul. So what he was saying was, I ain't got no play with you because you ran away from my boy. And since you got my boy looking stupid out here, I ain't got nothing for you. How many of you know that loyalty sometimes can get you in trouble because you're loyal to the wrong person? All right. Oh, right there. See, the boss should say, I don't care nothing about the relationship I got with Saul. Saul is a has-been. He may have the position, but he don't have the oil for where God is going. But this man right here has the anointing for the new season. And sometimes the people in positions of authority, they're stuck in the old and they can't recognize the new move of God. Come on. So they speak to the new out of the old. That's so good. Stuck in the past, realizing that God been left from over there, and the new thing that he's doing is in your midst. I want to declare that there's a newness on your life, and that when you stand before people, they will begin to recognize that you are the new thing God is doing, and they will not fight you because of the old thing. I wish more people had to receive that thing. You're not in the old, you're in the now of God. We're not in the next, we're in the now of God. Tell somebody, I'm in the now. Don't talk about I'm next, I'm coming up. No, you are now. You are the now of God. So Nabal, he disses David's boys, disrespects David, send them back. They go back and tell David, yo, he dissed us, embarrassed us. Talking about you a renegade out in these streets. I mean, just diss you all the way up and down. And so David got quick on his feet. Now, when we say to be quick on your feet, what do we mean? It means to think very quickly, to come up with a solution with a problem that has been presented very quickly, right? Sometimes, if you have the time, you can take the time to come up with a well-developed plan, strategy. You've thought it through, you've considered all of the factors. You have determined the time you're going to execute, and then you execute. But there are times in life when you don't have time to do all of that. That's true. You got to move right now. You got to do it right now. And you got to come up with a plan that is going to get the job done. Because if it doesn't get the job done, you can jeopardize your life and even your destiny. And so David made a quick moment decision. He said, I need about 300 of y'all to get your swords on. The rest of y'all stay back here and guard the stuff. All right. We going down here, we killing everything in the ball. I mean, everything that piss against the wall. That's what the Bible said. I didn't say piss, don't get me. All right, that's what the Bible said. That we're going to kill everything that's living. In other words, everything that's living, we're going to kill it. Amen. Now, he made a very quick judgment, but he made a judgment out of his emotion. Yeah. How many of us today are making quick decisions out of our emotions? Yeah. Amen. In the moment, our back got pressed into the wall, and the only thing we know to do is fight.
Talk about it.
Only thing we know to do is just cut you with our mouth. I may not cut you with a physical knife, but I'll cut you up with my mouth. Our terrible relationship, I've been working 10 years about tearing up 10 minutes because my back has been pressed into the wall. And God says we got to get better handle on our spirit, on our emotion. We cannot just do stuff because that's what we've always done. But I can't help it. I've been like this for 40 years. I've been like this for 60 years. You don't know where I come from. You don't know how I grew up. But listen, don't we say that we are new creatures? Where is the new? You ain't gonna help me when you don't like me right there. I say, where is the new? Yes, I know we works in progress because sometimes the old man like to come out, Popo like to come up in me. But I got to be conscious of the fact of what makes him come up in me. And the question is, do you know what pushes your button? Because if you don't know, the devil knows that he knows how to push them real good. And you know when he likes to push it? Right when you're on the edge. Oh my God, you better hear it. Right when you're on the edge of crossing over, he knows how to send the right person to say the right thing at the right time in the right place to make you turn all the way up. Because he can't stop your destiny, but he can hinder you, he can delay you, he can mar you while you're on your way.
That's all right.
What are your buttons?
That's all right.
For David, his button was honor and recognition because he dealt with abandonments.
Well.
Because his daddy didn't even recognize him. Everybody, the man he thought was going to father him turned out to be his biggest enemy.
Jesus.
His own wife turned her back on him. Listen to me. All of these rejection experiences. So his button was, you going to give me my respect. I did this out the goodness of my heart. You're going to give me my respect. You're going to pay me my dues. Because I didn't have to do what I did. And God knew this man, if I don't send some intervention, going to mess up his entire destiny. Come on. I want to tell you that even when you get in your flesh, your assignment is so important to the things of God that he'll send you some intervention. Or I feel like busting loose up in here. I wish I had 50 people that help you. And even when you get in your flesh, and even when you get in your emotions, God will raise up somebody that is standing together and say, show your road, brother. Or you better praise him for the times of the past. When God helped you out, you knew you was about to mess up. But God stepped in at the nick of time, and he blocked it. Tell somebody, he blocked it, he blocked it, he blocked it, he blocked it, he blocked it. He blocked it. And I thank him today because he blocked it. I could have been in jail, but he blocked it. Could have been dead, but he blocked it. Could have been tore up, but he blocked it. Open your mouth to say, thank you, Jesus. Thank you for blocking it. Thank you. So David made a split-second decision that we're going to go down here and kill all these people. And at the same time, the intervention comes in the form of a woman. Why is it that every time we got to fix a problem, we got to use a black woman? It's just facts. It's just facts. Woman by the name of Abigail. Most of the time. When the brothers can't get it together, God raise up a woman. Come on, women, black women. Come on, black women. Black women magic. Holler in here. It's back. Some of y'all wouldn't be where you is right now if it wasn't for a black woman, and some of y'all where y'all are because of a black woman. So Abigail, who was the wife of Nabal, got wind of what happened. Says, man, your husband's a fool. And because of his foolery, he about to get us killed up here. Verse 17. So one of the servants who overheard what the servants of David witnessed with Nabal is telling her what happened. Harm is determined against our master and against all of his house, for your husband is a scoundrel. Isn't it interesting how people will continue to work for a fool and a scoundrel, knowing they're a fool and a scoundrel? So that means you have to make sure that you're not a fool, and you can't judge your foolery based upon who's still sticking with you.
Right.
Because sometimes folks will still stick with you even though you're a fool because they benefit from you.
Come on.
Can I say it another way? Just because people co-sign on everything you say and do don't mean it's right. That's why you need some folks that'll tell you, nope, that ain't right. Nope, you missed it. I love you and you was wrong. You need them. So Abigail makes a quick decision. She's quick on her feet. Verse 18, it says she made haste. Now here are three things that can help you real quickly. We're going to wrap it up. To help you to make quick decisions, to be quick on your feet from a spiritual perspective. You have to remember that God has a destiny for you, and you can't make decisions in your now that will hinder you in your future.
Right.
So before you react, you need to think about, is this going to mess up my future? Is this going to mess up my destiny? Or if I do this, can I still walk into my destiny smoothly?
Yeah.
That's how you have to start to filter things in your mind. You can't be like, I don't care what happens.
Right.
As my grandma used to say, they used to say when she was little, we didn't care where the water fell as long as it didn't fall on us.
All right.
When you have destiny in your mind, you have to be concerned about where the water falls.
That's right.
Because if it falls in the wrong place, it can hinder your destiny. And it can affect how you show up at your destiny.
That's right.
So the first thing when you look here at Abigail that she does is she connects her past and her present experiences. You have to pay attention to everything you've gone through. How many of you take time to just sit down sometimes and just think about the things you went through? Yes. The good, the bad. Not just the good, but sometimes you need to sit down and think about the bad stuff.
That's right.
What was God saying to me?
Yeah.
What did I learn from that? Because if you don't learn from it, you're going to repeat the same mistakes. Because God, you don't fail tests with God. You just keep retaking them till you pass it. I don't know about you. I had to retake some tests several times. And there's some tests I'm tired of failing. I don't know about you. There's some tests I'm tired of failing, trying to stop and say, okay, God, what is you trying to say? What is it that I'm not getting? Or sometimes you think you learned the lesson only to find out you didn't get all the lessons. Woo! So it behooves us to make time on a regular basis to really stop and pay attention to our life experiences. Now, Abigail was married to a fool who was also successful. Can I say it another way? She was married to a great man who did not know how to manage his emotions. So when she heard about David's decision, she recognized that same trait in her husband.
Right.
And she knew exactly what she needed to do to deal with David.
Amen.
Y'all missed that.
Amen.
She knew her past so well that when she was confronted with a present situation, she was able to quickly go in her mind and say, okay, the last time I dealt with something like this, this is what I did. Boom. Strategy. 3 seconds. And you got to get to the place that you have recognized the major patterns, the major things that's happened in your past. And you have not only recognized it, but you know what to do. And you got to keep a file in your brain. Can I get that? You got to keep a file in your brain. It says that when I see this spirit, I know to do this. And when I see this happen, I know to do this. And when I see this happen, I know to go to action right here. You got to store that stuff in your head. And you got to be able to retrieve that information in 2 seconds. Which means in order to do that, you got to pay attention. Tell somebody, stay woke. I know they talk about being conscious and all that stuff, but when I say stay woke, open your eyes. Pay attention. Nothing that's happening in your life is by accident if you're a covenant person. Nothing. I mean absolutely nothing that's happening in your life is just to be happening. God is saying something, and as Mama Juju was telling me a couple weeks ago, it blessed me. A lot of what you're learning now ain't even for now, it's for later. Jesus Christ. Let me say that again. A lot of what you're going through right now ain't even for now, and it ain't even for you. It's for the future, and it's for somebody else. But if you don't pay attention and learn the lesson, then you will never walk in to the opportunity that God will create for you to pull that file out your brain in 2 seconds.
Amen.
Thank you.
She was able to pull out. She said, okay, I know what a great man looks like who's caught up in his feelings. And I know exactly what I need to do to address this man in the moment. And that's exactly what she did. The second thing she did, she pulled upon the resources she already had.
Yes.
She said, okay, we're wealthy, and I know any man likes to eat. The old woman used to say, a way to a man's heart is through his. So I'm going to feed this black man. All these black men, they hungry, they've been out here in the field. We're going to put some food in their stomach. But if you really look at all the food she gathered, now there's 600 men with David at this time. Look at this in verse 18. 200 loaves of bread ain't going to feed all those men.
Okay.
2 skins of wine ain't enough to get them halfway tipsy. 5 sheep already dressed. What am I going to do with 20 legs of lamb with 600 men? No, I mean, look at it. Open your Bible, open your phone. I want you to look at the numbers. It don't make sense.
Right.
It don't make sense. 5 seeds of roasted grains, 100 clusters of raisins, 200 cakes of... They ain't enough to feed these men. But that wasn't the purpose.
Right.
The purpose wasn't to feed the men. The purpose was to slow down their actions.
Come on now.
So you got to know, what can I put my hands on quickly, not necessarily to solve the problem, but to slow it down enough so I can fix the problem. Can I say it another way? What can I put my hands on quick to stall this situation? I'm teaching better than y'all talking about.
All right. You're right.
I'm giving you practical. I hope you're writing this down.
You good? Yes, sir.
What do you have access to now? Don't be worried about what you could get your hands on or what's coming next week. No, what can you put your hands on now? Which means that you have to have constant record of inventory.
Yes.
Do you know what you have right now? I said, give me a list of all your resources right now. Can you do it? You got to have a current, updated inventory of what you can put your hands on right now. And I ain't talking about stuff only.
Right.
But relationships, who can you pick up the phone and call? I'm raising up influencers in here. And listen, you can have $5 in the bank, but got $1 million worth of contacts. You ain't talking to me over here. Don't worry about what's in your bank account. You can pick up the phone and make this whole city move in 15 minutes. What information do you have? Expertise, experiences you have that you can use in ways to bring tangible results. Do you know what you have? And the problem is some of y'all so busy fighting the devil that you ain't stopped to realize that there's more in you than what's out here. You're so busy fighting the naysayers and all the people what they got to say that you lose sight of all of the wealth that you possess in your bosom. That you're a great person that God has anointed and his hand is on your life. It has nothing to do about where you work and what your job title is or where you live. It's about what's on the inside of you. And if you don't believe the greatness on the inside of you, you'll lose sight and then you won't know what you have available. And so then when we call upon you, can you help? You can't be of help.
Amen.
Imagine if Abigail didn't know what she had.
That's right.
Oh, let me go down that count. Oh, Jesus. I don't know. Did they fix it? Did they get the sheet ready? Did they bake the case? I don't know. I got come on down here with me. That lady didn't have time to do all that mess. She had to know that stuff in the dot. I'm telling you all, God will test your preparedness when you least expect it. Oh. I said God will test your preparedness when you least expect it. That's why you got to be ready. If you're waiting for it to happen to be ready, you already late. If you don't know when it's going to happen, it's going to come suddenly. Let me hurry up. She gathered her resources and she used her staff. Which means that you got to learn how to leverage those relationships. I'm scared of people who don't have no good friends. They scare me. You ain't got no friends. I ain't talking about your relatives because they got to deal with your tail because they related to you. I'm talking about folks who ain't related to you. You ain't got nobody you can call? Nobody. I'm scared of people like that. I'm serious. Something's wrong with that. You can't get along with nobody. Because listen, you don't ever know when you're going to get in a situation where you need to pick up the phone and call somebody. I was in Florida and we had an emergency on my team and I could pick up the phone and call somebody and my colleague was like, they're going to come and help us? Absolutely.
Yes.
They said, why? I said, because I have built and maintained a relationship that when I got in trouble, they wouldn't mind helping me because I don't only call them when I need something. You need to think about, if you got in trouble right now, you broke down on the side of the road out of town, who could you call? And who would get out of their bed to come help you right there? She knew who on her staff could help her accomplish this task. And the question is, who can help you get something done in a split second? Are you cultivating that relationship? See, listen to this. Oh God, I thank you for this download. He says, I connect you to movers and shakers, but then you don't cultivate the relationship so that when you need them, they're not there to help you. I brought them to you, but you didn't do nothing with what I brought to you. Oh my God. Every Saturday, I text or call every one of my overseers, like clockwork. You know why I do it? Because I want them to know that I appreciate their prayers, their support, and their wisdom. So that if I get in trouble, then I go, who's David? I don't know him. I don't even talk to him. He doesn't ever call me. I don't know nothing about him. I know nothing about the ministry. I talk to them every week. God has connected me with probably one of the biggest prophets in this country by being somewhere else. I texted him the other day, he responded back. I didn't think he would respond back. God says, text him every week.
Oh, thank you, Lord.
Why this man is busy? He said, text him every week because you don't know what this connection I brought to your life is going to do for you. And I speak over you that God is getting ready to bring unusual connections. People of high status that you normally would never meet. God says, I'm bringing them to you. You're going to recognize that I have brought them, but I'm also going to give you the wisdom to know how to connect and when to connect. God says, don't feel like you're a nobody because God only connects great with greats. If he connected you to great, that's because you're great. Tell somebody you're great. Listen, I want y'all to change your perspective. You judging your greatness on what you got, you'll miss it, honey. Greater is he that's in you. And I keep saying that today. What makes you great is that the Spirit of the living God, the same Spirit that rose Jesus from the dead, is living in you. That's what makes you great. And until you see yourself as the great person you are, not in an arrogant fashion, not in a lorded over fashion, but in a confident posture where you lift up your head. God says some of y'all need to lift up your heads in your spirit. Your head hung down because of your life and the struggle. God said hold your head up and smile because greatness is on the inside of you. And when you recognize the greatness that's on the inside of you, you walk differently. You speak differently. You vibrate differently in the atmosphere. You ain't talking to me. You come in the room with a different type of energy when you know you're great.
Amen.
And then the last thing she did, and I'm done, I'm over my time, forgive me, is once she connected that past to the present, once she used the available resources, both human and natural resources, then she executed quickly. She sent her servant ahead because she knew they could get there faster. They bring that food peace offering to quell them. And then she came. She didn't tell her husband. See, sometimes you can't tell everybody your plans, especially if they don't think right. Some of y'all have been delayed because you told a person you thought you could tell, but their mind ain't right. So they don't talk you out of the decision you was finna make. You can't share your plans with a fool. I don't care if he is your boo thing. I don't care if they are your prayer partner. I don't care if they are your best friend. I don't care if they are a relative. If their mind ain't right, you keep it to yourself until the thing is done. Because you don't got time to be trying to convince somebody of what God told you to do to save everybody. And some of y'all wasting time going back and forth, trying to convince. Let them people be. You should have told them in the first place. You wasting time. I could have been down the road sitting here fussing with you. See, she was woke. She knew what her husband was. See, some of us walk around acting like we don't know what we dealing with. You better act like you know. You better know who you dealing with. You better know who you married to. You better know who you lapping up with. You better know who you work with. You better know who you riding with. You better know who you texting. You better know. You better act like you know up in here. Because in your knowing, you know who to ask to pray and who to go around. I can't tell her right now. I'll tell her later. Once it's done, I'll tell her. But right now, I need people to say, yes, this is the will of God. Yes, go. And you consider this, but I got you. Go, 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 go. I don't need time for naysayers. She didn't tell him. She went around him. She went quickly. And when she saw the man, she fell off her horse and went in a position of worship. And I end with this. When she went in a position of worship, she began to prophesy to that man. She says, greatness is on your life. She says, my husband is a fool. And he'll always be a fool, but what God has for you is greater than this situation. God will release a prophetic word in our rage and our anger to remind us that don't do this right here. But if you do this right here, you're going to jeopardize your prophetic future. Your future is greater than the feeling you're going to get for killing these people. I know it feels real good to get them with it. Woo, baby! Baby! It would be so sweet! Oh, y'all don't pretend. I'm just kidding. Y'all ain't going to help me? Oh, the feeling of relief I will have. If I could just do to you what I wanted to do to you, burn my destiny. Oh my God, I feel like jumping up in here. My destiny is far greater than this moment of pleasure. Far greater. And when you lose sight, God will raise up a prophetic intercessor. Stand in the gap and say, oh, king, you know you're going to be king. You ain't king right now. Oh, but I see king in you. I see a king on you. It's coming. Just hold on a little while longer. I know you've been running from Saul. He got you out here looking like you crazy. Oh, but not many days from now, there's going to be a king that's going to rise in you. And you don't want this innocent blood on your hand when you become king. All right. Thank God that he loves us enough. Everybody said, I'm done. That he cares about our destiny so much that he will raise up somebody. And I want to end with this, I promise. He doesn't just raise up Abigail's prophetic intercessors to prevent us from making bad steps. He raised them up as examples to us of how we ought to think quick on our feet. She acted out of prophetic insight, strategy, and execution. Our lives have to be governed by the prophetic, not by the flesh, not by our feelings. It's so hard to do that. Can we be honest? Our feelings are so real and they just take us over. It's like these hijacks. They just grab you before you know, you're like, wait a minute. That's real deal.
Yes.
But the more we spend in the presence of God, the more we spend praying in the Spirit, the more we spend fasting, we begin to break that back piece by piece. It ain't gonna happen overnight, but piece by piece, it begins to break back in our lives. And then you get to a place that when crisis happens, you don't fall apart. You're like, okay, Lord, what should I do? Boom. You begin to pull out that file cabinet in your head. Begin to say, okay, these are the resources I have. Now let's move. And it's right in line with the prophetic destiny of God.
Thank you.
Father, I pray in Jesus' name that you would help us, Lord, to submit more to the prophetic anointing that's already on our lives. God, that you would break back that emotional hijack that happens so easily. That we would not make decisions out of our emotions, our flesh, our present, but help us to make decisions out of where you're taking us. We thank you for the prophetic intercessors, the Abigails that you raised up to speak sense to us when we're in a rage. But help us to become more like that. Help us to be a person that not only governs ourselves by the prophetic, but helps other people to not mar their destiny. I give you praise and glory for that today. In Jesus' name. Amen.